What is the job of our brain? Hi, my name is Drew. Our brain is here to signal what our body needs. It maps our surroundings. It generates energy and action for us to take toward the need. It warns us of any danger or opportunities on our way, and then it will adjust our action based on the moment. So it will be like, my body is not getting enough hydration. My brain will let me know that I am thirsty. Let's say there's a glass of water on the table. I will locate that glass of water on the table. It will give me the energy to get up and the action of going to get that glass. And as I walk, my fan falls and my brain signals there is danger, and it adjusts by me having jumped out of the way. This is super simple, but that's pretty much the logistic of what is the job of our brain. But what if we're carrying that trauma? How does the brain work then? One thing we can remember and make it easier to understand is our rational brain is kind of like a competent rider, and our emotional brain is unruly horse. So our rational brain tells us where to go, and then something happens and there's danger. Our emotional brain takes over, and so the horse bolts. It's the same kind of a behavior when we are carrying our trauma with us. So how it all works? Well, we need to know how the brain is developed. It starts from bottom up. The first thing that comes is our brainstem. Our brainstem is literally just kind of like a housekeeper. His job is to make sure our survival needs are understood and met. As we go, we develop the limbic system. In that limbic brain, we have a thalamus and amygdala. And Dr. Vanderkolk calls the thalamus as a cook and amygdala as a smoke detector. Thalamus is a section of the brain that takes a sensory input. So smell, hearing, what we're feeling, it all comes in, and thalamus puts it all together for us to understand what's happening. Amygdala, it registers threat. It is also part of the unconscious brain. Then we go into frontal lobes. Prefrontal cortex is developed around age 7. It helps us plan things. It understands the time. It understands what actions to take and what are the results. Also, we develop empathy for another person. Dr. Vanderkolk calls it as the watchtower. It's part of our conscious brain. When amygdala sends out this alarm, it goes through in two different ways. It goes the low road into the nervous system to send out the hormones, adrenaline, to move us out of the way. So the low road is the immediate reaction to get out of the way, and the high road is where it goes into the watchtower to let us see what is actually happening. And it just takes a little bit longer for us to get to the logical part of our brain. So sometimes we would react and then realize it was actually nothing. Normally, in the healthy environment, it only takes a little bit of time. We might just freak out a little bit and then calm down and come back to our equilibrium. However, when we have a trauma that we're holding on to, studies do show in PTSD patients is that their watchtower and smoke detector is not really connecting well. So when the smoke detectors goes off, is that we tend to freak out, but instead of going back to equilibrium right after, we go into this defensive and this reactive mode, and then finally later on we realize it was nothing. We go through our cover story where we just blame someone else or something else. How many of you would be driving to work and there's traffic and you just get angry? Well, there's not really much of danger, right? You're just stuck in traffic. Normally we will just take a breath, realize what it is, and we'll let it go. But in that moment, if we can't really stop and we just get angry and agitated, well, maybe it's a good thing to put on your curiosity hat and ask, why am I actually angry? Why are we responding in such a negative way? And the first thing to do is to sense, name, and identify what is happening inside us. Then, when we're ready to go through therapy, and it could be self-therapy, when we are ready to go through it, we gotta remember to be grounded. And what does it mean to be grounded? It's when we feel our surrounding in the present moment, to remind our brain that the time has passed. It's not just accepting whatever happened to you and that's it. No, it is understanding that it's no longer happening right now and healing in the healthy way. And one way to bring that equilibrium back to our system so we're not really on edge all the time and our brain is not constantly signaling danger, there is two ways we can work on that. One way, Dr. Vanderkolk calls it top-down method, is where we come from the logical part of our brain to remind the emotional emotional brain, that the trauma is no longer here. We can do it by mindful meditation and yoga. And what does that mean, right? It means becoming more present. This is what I did actually when I went through my breakup, and I was pulling back to the moment where it was a painful experience that I was having with this person. I would remind myself, where am I now? And I would look around and I would say to myself, okay, I am in my room. I'm alone. There's no one here. I'm listening to nice music. I'm good. In the way, I didn't even know what I was doing at that moment until I started reading this book. But it's a good thing to realize that I was starting to use proper steps into letting things go, and that helped tremendously. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we're gonna do it one time and we're good at it. No, it takes time. I went back to the moment of pain so many times, and I had to constantly remind myself, where am I now? But if I can do it, so can you. The other way is bottom up. It's coming from emotional. It's where we're calming down our emotional brain, and we can do it with breath, movement, and touch. Now, breath helps both ways. Breath is like the miracle medicine. Breath can do wonders. Have you ever noticed when you're stressed and you're just breathing so fast? And this is a perfect time to practice this deep, slow breathing. By the way, if you're gonna do it, please share it in a comment below how you felt. If you, the moment you notice you're breathing very fast because you're stressing about something and doing deep, slow breath, please share with us how you felt afterward. And the other one is movement. And you don't have to go to the gym and work out at the gym all the time. Literally could go outside for a walk. That's good enough. That's movement. Movement is best to, do things like dancing, go swimming, exercising. It doesn't have to be gym. It could be sports. Anything that gets our body to move. Instead of sitting down watching videos, it's best to get up and do some movement. And the other one is touch. I mean, we all love to be touched in a way that is loving, and comforting. And there's studies shown that when we embrace each other for more than 3 seconds, our body starts to feel comfortable and safe. And I don't know about you, but I love hugs. I love to hug, and I love to receive the hugs because it feels so good on our body to be held. Or if you ever felt upset or angry and someone just rubbed your arm, with gentle rub to remind you that you're okay. Like even right now when I'm doing this, it feels good, So it's good to do the touching. By the way, like this video, those are like hugs for me. It makes me feel all good and fuzzy. And share this video with people that you love, and this information can help. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That definitely helps. So this is the time to learn the tricks and whatever you want to call it to become the better version of ourselves, because we can do it. And it's time to wake up and remember our power.